All right, so for what feels like forever, about 3 years really, the whole story about the Chicago Bears' future has been all about Illinois, right? You know, this huge drama playing out in Arlington Heights, lots of back and forth on negotiations, property taxes, the usual stuff. But then, bam, a plot twist nobody saw coming. The whole script has been flipped, and now everything comes down to this one kind of unbelievable question that could literally change the face of Chicago sports. Seriously, think about it. The Hammond Bears? It sounds weird, doesn't it? Like it's from another planet. But here's the crazy part. This is not some rumor you see on social media. No, this is now the question at the heart of the team's search for a new stadium. Because, well, Indiana is making this incredibly aggressive and honestly, so far, super successful play to steal one of the NFL's original teams right across the border. And you got to understand, this whole bid from Indiana, it's not just about money. It's not just business. It's actually gotten really personal. Get this, during a state hearing about the law to bring the Bears over, the mayor of Hammond, Thomas McDermott, he actually got emotional. He was tearing up. You can just imagine the weight of that moment for him. This wasn't just some standard business pitch. It felt like he was pleading, making this heartfelt case for what would be a total game changer for his city. So, you're probably asking, how in the world do we get to this point? I mean, how do we go from what seemed like a sure thing in the Chicago suburbs to this crazy battle between two states? Well, it all started with what everybody thought was a foregone conclusion, right? A huge brand new stadium in Arlington Heights. For years, that wasn't just a plan, it was the plan. Okay, so this timeline really lays out the whole story. You can see the frustration just building and then this sudden sharp turn. So for years, it's all Illinois all the time. Then, this past December, the Bears just drop a bombshell. They announce, hey, we're looking at Indiana now. Then, not long after, they make a very public visit over there with the NFL commissioner in tow. And now, here we are, with Indiana basically fast-tracking a law that the team itself is calling the most meaningful step forward they've had. So, what was the hang-up in Illinois? What went wrong? Well, for months, the Bears have been pretty open about their frustration. They kept talking about a lack of partnership. See, they were trying to get a bill passed that would give them some flexibility on property taxes, which, for a project this massive is a huge deal. Without that, the whole thing was just too financially risky. But in the state capital, Springfield, crickets. Nothing was happening. And when you put the two states side by side, wow, the difference is just night and day. So over in Illinois, you've got that key tax bill just stuck. A big committee hearing, canceled out of nowhere. Meanwhile, you look at Indiana, their bill just flies through the Senate, gets a unanimous yes from a House committee, and now it's basically on the home stretch to becoming a law. It's like watching two totally different worlds when it comes to making a deal happen. And get this sudden move by the Bears, it seems like it completely blindsided the folks in Illinois. The governor's office said they had just had this really good 3-hour-long meeting with the team literally the day before. The Bears even asked them to kind of hit pause on the lawmaking process so they could make some changes. And then, bam! The very next morning, the team puts out a statement praising Indiana. You can just feel the whiplash in that quote, right? The shock, maybe even a little bit of betrayal. So on one hand, you have Illinois, looking like they're just dragging their feet. And on the other, you have Indiana, who clearly saw this as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and just went all in. Their whole game plan was pretty simple, really. Just be faster, be more direct, and roll out the red carpet in a way that Illinois just wasn't. And this quote right here from Indiana's governor, Mike Braun, it just says it all. The speed of business. That was their whole motto. They got everyone on the same page, the state, the city of Hammond, all the lawmakers, and they moved fast. They showed the Bears a single, unified, and really enthusiastic front with a clear runway to get this thing done. And honestly, when you look at the actual deal they're offering, you can totally see why the Bears are listening. Indiana's plan is just so simple. Here's how it works. A new stadium group gets created to handle the money and build the place. The Bears sign a long 35-year lease, and this is the key part. They get to keep all the money the stadium makes. Then, 40 years down the line, after all the bills are paid, the Bears get to own the entire thing for $1. It's just a clean, powerful, and really straightforward offer. So, all of that brings us right here to today, and everything is just up in the air. Indiana has made its big, bold move. Illinois is now in a position where they have to react. They're scrambling. And right in the middle of it all, the Chicago Bears, who are now holding all the power. But what's the team actually saying about all this, now that the heat is on? Okay, this statement from the Bears is just a brilliant piece of negotiation. The words they used are so specific. Notice they said Hammond is the site they're focused on. That is very different from saying they're committed to it. And then they add that little phrase, work to be done. That basically keeps every single door open. What they're doing is putting as much pressure as possible on Illinois to sweeten the deal, all without officially giving up on Arlington Heights.
And so that's where we are. We're left with this one question that, honestly, if you'd asked it 6 months ago, people would have laughed you out of the room. But now, it feels alarmingly real. Could a legendary NFL team, a team that's been a cornerstone of Chicago sports for more than 100 years, could they really pack up and move just a few miles away, but into a whole different state? Nobody knows what's going to happen next, but you can bet everyone on both sides of that border is holding their breath to find out.